When we first started this channel, we had a mission in mind. We wanted to highlight elders who are currently practicing in the spiritual and healing fields. We are so blessed to have our first guest be Lawrence Jordan, a gifted shaman and medium right here in Dallas, Texas. We hope you enjoy this insightful conversation as we pull up to Lawrence's office right here at White Rock Lake.
I would love if you formally introduced yourself and any titles that maybe help them understand who they're talking to today.
Sure. Well, my name is Lawrence Jordan, and when I first got into this profession, the first title that I had was Water Intuitive. And that's when I read through the element of water. My ancestry is associated with water. The second part of my gift is a water shaman, and that's where these particular 7 trees, if you see these 7 trees behind me, Grandma tree is directly behind me. These 7 trees basically showed me an interesting way to heal people through trees and water and sacred geometry. My career here, it's like coming home when I come here. I travel around, but I'm always coming back here. Here is where my base is. Here is where I learned many of my techniques, and here's where I do most of my training that are here.
Lawrence has people fly in from all over the country to come receive a wide variety of healing and guidance on their soul's journey. Being that he's in Dallas, Texas, Lawrence has a great advantage of being right in the middle of the U.S.
I want to focus a little bit about Dallas because this series is going to be all over Dallas. We're going to show off a lot of talented individuals and a lot of cool healing taking place right now. And I just want to know what your connection is with the city of Dallas, and also what is it about Dallas that it makes this work so able for you to do it here? What is it about this city?
Well, and I'm glad you asked that question, because a lot of people ask when you say I come from a spiritual community and I come from Dallas, those two things don't generally
Right.
and I think when we get deeper into it, we realize, no, they actually do. Dallas is a place where if you want to be a healer, you got lots of work here. I'll say that. There's lots of work to do here. Dallas is a city that's layered with spirituality, so you have different circles of spirituality. You will have ancestral, you will have metaphysical, you will have galactic. You'll have all these schools of thought, and these schools are not formal schools. They're groups of people. They're groups of people. So it's not something that's on the surface, like something that you will come to say, oh, this is a school of spiritual learning. No, it's happening all over. Now, Dallas, for me, when I first started out, I got into one of the most powerful psychic fairs in the country. It's called the Dallas Psychic Fair. I just have to say it is one of the most powerful psychic fairs I've been in, and I happened to be in the right place at the right time. And it sort of catapulted me in the sense it was very hard work. It was very, very hard work, and I was up for it. I was up for the hard work, and I know that they don't allow a lot of people like me in these fairs. So when I came in, I knew I had to be the very best, and I was okay about being the very best. I was very disciplined in my offerings, and in return, they gave me a wonderful education on psychic energy. Psychic energy. So if there's any people that are coming here and they're like, okay, I really want to get into the mediumship part of my gift, Dallas is a place for you there, because we have practical information. We're not just going to give you the book smarts. We're going to give you the day-to-day.
Being a shaman, Lawrence is very connected to the elements. You'll see he goes by water shaman at times, and he has a very strong connection to water in any form. I was really curious of how someone can work with the elements like he does, so I had to find out more.
Well, I hear you mention water a lot, and I know one of the titles I saw when I first saw you was Water Shaman. I saw that everywhere. I'm curious of when did you discover that you did have that connection with water, and how did that develop over the years?
Well, I've always had a connection with water. I'm a Cancer. My birthday is June 24th, which is the feast day of St. John the Baptist.
Wow, okay.
So my last name is Jordan. I was born literally on the beach in Far Rockaway in Queens. I've always been associated with water, but my connection with water came from the moon in my dreams. It wasn't just water.
Okay.
And um, I felt differently around like lakes, give me a different vibration of water, rivers, give me a different vibration of water, oceans, give me a whole totally different vibration of water. I'm able to understand all those bodies of water as it relates to each individual person. There are people who are lake people. They're not ocean people. They see the world like a lake sees the world.
Wow.
And you have to know that when you're working with their gift, that that's how they see the world. And so water is the first element of the planet, really, this planet is a water planet.
Hmm.
So everyone's a water person. I guess what I'm saying, the short of it is, I don't think I found water. I think water found me.
Okay.
I don't think I was looking for it.
Okay.
I don't think I was out looking for it. It was always there, and then one day it said, "Hey, you're doing a lot more with water than everyone else." And then I started teaching it. And I started sharing it, and water is a great connector.
Hmm.
You know, people meet by the watering hole. In corporate America, it's by the water cooler, but people meet by the watering hole.
Hmm.
And so they met by the watering hole to heal and cleanse. So let's go back. I think if we go back to the original meaning of a water hole, a well, we get back to more of a healing.
Beautiful. That sounds great to me.
Yes, we get back to more of a healing.
To kind of transition off of that, I know a lot of people are out there that are on the beginning side of things. They're kind of waking up to either they're feeling like they're different, they're gifted, or they're feeling like they just want to help. They're sensing this time in the planet where healers are being called to step up. They want to help. They just don't necessarily know how to sharpen their skills or how to sharpen these feelings and intuitions. I was just wondering, from someone with the experience that you have, what would you say to those people at the beginning of their journey?
Learn how to trust your gut. First, learn to connect with your inner guidance. Because if you don't learn that first, then you won't learn what's good for you. Not everything's good. Everything that's good is not always good for you. It's still good. It's just not good for you. So people who are waking up and getting more into discovering who they are, I say, and this is an unpopular opinion right now. I say, um, try not to read so many books first. Try to figure out where you are, because books can be programming, and it's good, but it may not be the programming you need. Try to figure out who you are, and then go after the person or groups of people who align themselves with where you're going.
Hmm.
You know, if it's shamanism, try to come into nature first and see what's naturally connected to you. You may be connected to trees, and you haven't tapped in enough to understand how connected you are to trees. We have to get away from organized spirituality.
Hmm.
We have to let yourself naturally be guided to what you want to study. And so, if there's someone that came to me and says, "Lawrence, I'm starting out. Where do I begin?" Sit your butt on the ground. That's where you go. Sit down. Just sit down on the earth under a tree with no one around, and sit down there for 10 minutes. Cut off the noise, cut out everything. Slowly learn how to turn off all of that stimuli,
Hmm.
because we can't work with you if everything is on at the same time.
Yeah, that's a big step because I know we're surrounded in it, especially with my generation, people of my age. We don't know a world without it, and it's almost like second nature to think about. You wake up, you get on your first thing, you're on your phone already. It's been a challenge to get away from those stimuli. It really is.
And we know that. My generation knows that with you guys, because we weren't born into it, but when we got in teenage years to the 20s, it came upon us. So we live in both the worlds. So when I say to my people, yeah, I get it, but give yourself 10 minutes and sit your butt down on the ground for a moment, and you don't have to win. This
Hmm.
is not a contest. This is, I don't care if you lasted for a minute. It's 1 minute of peace that you didn't have,
Hmm.
in the course of the day. So I always tell people, let's keep it simple. But with all of the new, like with your new group, that you millennial people that are coming in, and other uh, whatever categories after that, you've been so far removed from nature just by your lifestyle that the moment you step back into it, you're more powerful than the people who were in nature.
Hmm. You know, it's so funny, and this is completely about Lawrence today, but I do want to share it because nature's a huge part of my journey. Because me and Cheyenne, who you saw earlier on the video, we had to move back with some family who lived in the middle of the woods. They're away from everyone in January of this year. And when I first got there, I was just like, what the heck are we doing? We're away from the city, we're away from anything that we've known. And literally, days upon days of time, I would just go out in the woods and I would just stare at the river, I'd stare at the trees. I started connecting in ways that were truly special, and truly my connection with Source and Christian, with God, I felt were the highest they've been in a long time. And it all came back to that nature. And I think it is pretty simple. I think what you're saying, it's funny how like we're searching for all these answers, but it's like it's pretty much right around us, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And with you having the opportunity to sit still in the forest and have peace.
Hmm.
Your path is two paths. You have to learn where we are and then learn where to take us.
Hmm.
And right now you're learning where we are.
Well, I'm so grateful to have elders around me that are as gifted as you and as experienced as you that can pour into people like me. Like, I think that's what it's all about, is learning from people that have done it before already. Like, takes a lot of the pressure out of people my, like me. Like,
Yes, yes. And we want you guys to ask us questions.
As Lawrence encouraged us to keep asking questions, we shifted into how his generation and the younger generations can merge together.
What we can offer you and offer your generation is the how-to. We want you to build a structure, but we want to tell you how to do it. This is what we've learned. And so a lot of people your age, they get into spirituality, and sometimes I have to say, hey, um, you don't really service people, you service the profession.
hmm, okay,
You don't really service people, you service the profession. And by servicing the profession, you service millions of people.
wow,
And that's what we're kind of getting at you guys and saying, okay, our system is old, it's antiquated. You can't get in. Obviously, you couldn't get in because you didn't even know it existed.
hmm,
So, and we can't get to you guys because we know it existed, but how do we get in it? So that's when the oneness comes together. It doesn't have anything to do with healing individual. It has a lot to do with setting up the global infrastructure for healing.
hmm,
My obstacles is running into people who have thrown away their 9 to 5 job. And I'm saying, no, we need that. We need that skill set. You had that job for spirituality. That's what you had it for. You didn't have it for them, so don't throw it away. And they're like, Lawrence, I'm like, no, don't throw it away. Um, How can we transmute that into something that we can use? A skill set that actually goes, and it does. It goes with your natural gift. You just used it for money, but it goes with your natural gift. So you guys are the next level. You guys are the next level because you're going to actively seek out the elders,
hmm,
which just the fact that we're on here and able to speak in our own element is enough. They don't even have to, they could just look at it and get what they want out of it, just in us in our natural element. So I'm excited about this endeavor that you're doing. Trust people out there. This is going to be big. This is going to be big.
I'm excited. I feel that same way too, and I'm excited for you to get to see like where we're starting this and be a part of the ride. It's going to be a collective thing that we all go through together and learn together. I wanted to give you one more chance to plug your Jordan Water at the very
Yes,
end.
yes.
So,
There you go. This is Jordan Water, and it's named, of course, after moi. Jordan, well, for my family. Jordan Water is a combination. I used to read through this water. This is the water that used to be in a bowl 15 years ago.
okay.
I used to read to this water, but this water, my family made this water for, it was about 100 years now. 'Cause like, yeah, about 100 years that I know. And it's calming water. It's soothing water.
Hmm.
When you come from a spiritual family, there are certain symptoms that spiritual families have that you just really can't go to the doctor and get anything for. And ours was high anxiety and depression.
Yes.
We would go to 0 to 60, because we were so empathic and connected. So we used to call it the blues, and people would get the blues. And so the women in my family, they would boil lemons and boil herbs. They would get certain water from the mountain and charge it, and with certain crystals, and they would make this water for men and women and kids who would go into a mood swing. It worked every time.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It when you spray it on your face, it instantly calms you down, grounds you immediately for you to get that breath of fresh air
Oh
and
yeah.
say, okay, okay, I'm back for a moment. And it also, I use it for cleaning. It cleans very well.
Hmm.
You just use it, you boil it in your house. It gets away. If I've ever said this before, I mean this with my product. Um, Definitely. I don't have to sell it.
Yeah.
I don't have to sell it. I just have to spray you with it. I don't have to sell it. And maybe that's probably why I need help.
Yeah, well,
Because
I'll help you right now. I mean, I got it back in July. You generously gave me one bottle, and I bought a bottle because I'm still working on the bottle you gave me back in July. I'm about halfway through it. And on those days where we're in an RV and when we're feeling kind of like cooped up or just like that feeling of that anxiousness that takes over, bang. And it's just that quick. It's wild how quickly I feel better after using the product. So hand up, I use it and I love it. He doesn't even need to sell it. If you try it once, you're gonna be sold, like he said. And I think that's all you need to say about it. I
yeah,
think it's
it's
great.
at Lawrence444.com. You can order it, Lawrence444.com.
One last thing before we go, because I think we've covered a lot. I think this is gonna be great. I'm excited. Is there any closing remarks you want to say that's on your heart today, or have you feel like you got it enough out?
Well, I'll say this in closing. I'll channel something in closing. 2025 is going to be the year. It's a quarter of a century. We have reached the quarter century mark in this century, and I don't think people understand the quarter of a century mark. You know, so 2025 is a year that is going to change. We will definitely know that we will never be going back to the old life on the entire planet. It will start. It will start early. It will start around the first, and it will kick off in a strong way. So I'm telling everyone, get involved in nature, follow your gut, love yourself. If you're inspired to move, have the courage to move, be obedient to what's within you, enjoy, love yourself, follow us. We're doing retreats. We're doing everything we possibly can to service you to get whatever you need to get. And love yourself. Love yourself.
Love that. Love yourself, guys. Guys, thank you so much for sticking around. I'm excited for you to see the next videos in this series and come join us on this ride. We love you and we're looking forward to seeing you guys on this journey. Peace. Thank you.
Peace.